welcome to the Hacienda. Ribbit here. Today we're going to make something delicious from Brazil. Estroganoffe De Frango, which is chicken stroganoff. It is uniquely Brazilian in the sense that it requires this cachaça, which is Brazilian rum, and it's made in a unique way in that the first pressing of the sugarcane juice is then fermented, and then it's distilled into this delicious clear liquid. Typically rum is used with the tailings of the squeezings of the stuff that's left over, but this is the first press. And let me tell you, that is so smooth and delicious. You can drink it neat on the rocks. It is that good. It also calls for some Chenin Blanc, and here I have a Chenin Blanc with some Viognier in there. Delicious wine that it is. We got the mushrooms and the rest of the ingredients. I got a couple more off camera, but let's get going. In a hot skillet with some butter and olive oil, we are going to fry up the boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Traditionally, dark meat is utilized in this recipe. However, you can use any part of the chicken, white meat if you like. Dark meat tends to be a little bit more tender. And to that, we're going to add the 1 tablespoon each salt and black pepper. Now, in the 1920s, Brazil had this huge influx of Russian immigrants who left Russia, escaping the Russian Revolution. And they were a lot of skilled people, tradesmen, doctors, lawyers and things. And of course they brought their recipes with them. And beef stroganoff was very popular in the 1920s in Russia, and they brought it over. Well, beef was kind of expensive in Brazil at the time. So those astute cooks decided, well, we'll just use chicken. And over time, they just modified the recipe to this one that I'm showing you how to cook. Once the chicken is cooked, we've set it aside in a pan, and now we are going to cook the mushrooms. I have baby bellas here, and we want to sweat them out until they lose almost all their moisture and get really tight and small. The name frango for chicken is probably one of the most researched questions on Google, according to Mrs. Ribbit, who did the research for me. Frango is not a word, it's a slang, and frango is a slang for a small, young, edible chicken. It also means fucking up. In the sense of sports, if you are playing soccer and the goalie flubs it and allows a goal, that's a frango. If you kick an onside kick in American football and you don't recover it, that's a frango. But frango is also a chicken. And of course, everybody knows where Estroganoffe comes from, stroganoff. Now, after the mushrooms have shrunk down and cooked, we've removed them as well with the chicken. And now we're going to cook up the onion and until it gets translucent, and some of this cheddar garlic. Where's my scooper? Okay. That's about a cup of onion. One medium onion, one small one, whatever. Okay, so, and this is where the cachaça comes in. Let me saute this for a minute or two and join me in a bit. Okay, the onion's starting to get translucent. Now we're going to add the cheddar garlic. If you're using real garlic, the recipes generally call for about 4 or 5 teeth. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. And now we're going to add some cachaça. We're going to need about a cup. Okay. We'll call that a cup. Now, with our handy dandy, see, we're going to flame it. Now don't try this at home, kids. I'm a trained professional. You need to do this under adult supervision. We're going to boil the alcohol off this rum, and then we're going to keep cooking. After the flames went out, we added the cream. That's about 16 ounces of cream. We got oregano and coriander there, and we need to add, how do you open this, about a cup of bone broth. That's going to give it a nice flavor. Now comes the Worcestershire sauce, or Worsty sauce. You need a couple tablespoons. Give it a signature flavor. As well, we need tomato paste. I've got this great Mutti brand, which is very good. And we're going to add, about half the tube. The tube is 4.5 ounces, so we're going to go with 2 ounces of tomato paste. Let's get that stirred in nicely. I ended up adding the entire tube of tomato paste, so 4.5 ounces. Now we got to add about a tablespoon of mustard, and a good sturdy mustard is what you want. Dijon would be fine. I got Coleman's and I really like it. So now we're going to stir that in, and then we're going to add the chicken. Once it's come to a boil like that, we're going to turn it down to about medium high, and we're going to let it cook like that uncovered for about 30 minutes. After about 20 minutes, the sauce is thickening up nicely, and boy, does it smell good. So at this time, it's about 10 minutes before it's ready. We're going to add some fresh chopped parsley and the splash of Chenin Blanc. Just about a quarter cup. Stir that in, continue boiling, then let's plate it and eat it. Here we go with a steaming plate of Estroganoffe De Frango with some white rice with red bell pepper and parsley. Typically served that way in Brazil, but that's not all. No, sir. Check this out. Yes, they serve it with potato sticks. So we are going to put some potato sticks here. This is a ubiquitously Brazilian thing. Where potato sticks came in this recipe, who knows? But I like it because I like potato sticks. So look at that. Let's dig in. This is delicious. All right, let's give this deliciousness a try. First off, I want to say that it smells magnificent. That oregano and the coriander and all the spices just come together so well. So let's try the sauce, which I have cheated and tried already as it was cooking. Perfectly salted, very, very nice. Haven't tried it with a Chenin Blanc in it yet, though. Oh my. That parsley and the Chenin Blanc give it a brightness that it didn't have earlier. Earlier with the cachaça, it was rich and deep. This has a brightness that is absolutely delicious. Okay, let's try a piece of mushroom. What's there not to like about mushrooms? Okay, and the rice is ubiquitous. In Russia, beef stroganoff was served with wide noodles. In Brazil, stroganoff is with rice. Wow. I will tell you, folks, that is nothing like any stroganoff I have ever eaten. And you notice, which I noticed also, sour cream doesn't enter anywhere in this recipe. The sourness comes from the cachaça, the wine, and the cream. That is authentic, authenticimo. And yeah, I can see how these are pretty tasty. Let's try a piece of chicken. We got a nice chunk here. So tender. Oh my goodness. that sauce. Wow. You know, I like it over rice. I'd prefer it over rice. But I'm thinking mashed potatoes would be great with this too. Garlic mashed potatoes. This is a delightful one skillet recipe. Very simple to make. Folks, wow. I'm making this again. And of course it's got potato sticks in it. So what's there not to like? Thanks for watching, people. Y'all take care.